Hi guys, and happy Thursday. Today I'm going to make the shortest video I've ever made since I started these films, and the reason I know I can do that is that today's video is just about one word, and that word is vulnerability. When I say the word vulnerability or vulnerable, what comes to mind? Is it something negative or is it something positive? I think for most of us, it's something negative. We tend to associate the word vulnerability with weakness. Maybe you think about a time that you were vulnerable and it felt icky or uncomfortable. Maybe you think about some kind of power struggle that's being lost. Maybe you think about the attack or harm that could come when we open ourselves up and let our guard down and choose to be vulnerable. I think far less often we think something positive. We don't always remember the strength and the courage it takes to be vulnerable. We don't think about the times that someone was vulnerable with us and admitted that they were stuck or needed help or were feeling unsure, and we were able to do that and help them, and how valued and appreciated and necessary we felt. We often forget how necessary vulnerability is on our journey of growth and development and evolution. As I was editing my book in the last couple of days, I went across this section called Tell Your Worst Stories. And what I realized when I was editing that part of the book was that we love vulnerability in others, but we hate vulnerability, or we tend not to like it as much in ourselves. We want other people to be vulnerable, but we don't want to be vulnerable with them. And I thought about what a grave misfortune that is in leadership. If you're in a position of leadership and are leading, mentoring, coaching, guiding others, whether it's at work or on a soccer field or some sort of sports team or just within your own house, you've got kids or a spouse, somebody near you is asking for help or trying to learn or do something different, be willing to be vulnerable with them. Talk about your mistakes. Talk about your failings. Share with them that you felt nervous too once, and then share what you did about that. When we're willing to admit weakness or talk to other people about our struggles, several things happen. One, we're actually able to bring something into our conscious awareness that may not have been there previously. We might not have realized how we were feeling about something, or that we are nervous or worried or have some anxiety or fear about something that's going to happen next, until we say it out loud and admit it. And once we do that, then we're in a position to do something about it, which is just amazing. The second thing is, when we're willing to be vulnerable, oftentimes the mentor, the advisor, the coach, the guide that is supposed to help us will appear. And that can't happen until we actually identify what it is we're needing help with and how we're feeling. And so without asking for it or being willing to talk about it, we may not ever get the assistance we really need to move forward. And a third thing that happens when we're willing to be vulnerable is that we give other people permission to do the same thing. If you're in front of your team, your direct reports, and you're willing to say, hey, I didn't always feel this confident. There was a day that I didn't also know how to handle these situations. I felt just like this. If you can do that, people are going to be much more willing to tell you where they're truly at. You create a safe environment where people can feel secure to be themselves, to open up and to share with you and let you in about how they're really feeling. They might tell you that they need your help, that they don't know what to do next, that they're not as sure or as confident as you thought. And when you show them that that's okay, that's a part of learning and growth and struggle, and that's normal, something beautiful happens. They're able to not expect perfectionism or perfect. They look for progress and improvement instead. They're not so afraid by the bumps along the road, and they're truly able to develop a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So be vulnerable, choose to view it as a good thing, choose to have that with your team and those around you, and you'll just be shocked at how much more people will like you, respect you, admire you, but really open up to you, and that will lead to great progress. That's the word for the day, vulnerability. Go try it.